last night, a great big man in red and white. He told me that it's gonna be a special year for you and me.
Underneath the mistletoe, hold me tight and kiss me slow.
The snow is high, so come inside. I wanna hear you say to me, it's a very, 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 very Christmas. Party on to Santa Claus traditions. The halo on, I know I'm on. It's who I live. It's an extraordinary Merry Christmas. It doesn't come as a surprise. Who's been naughty, who's been nice? There's someone here for everyone. Another year has just begun.
Silent night, not inside. Sleigh bells ring until the light. Hearts explode, here we go. It's all right there inside your eyes.
It's a very, 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 very Christmas. From the party on to Santa Claus traditions. My halo on, I know I'm on. It's who I live. It's an extraordinary Merry Christmas.
Won't you meet me by the tree? Slip away so secretly. Can't you see how this could be the greatest gift of all? Maybe better than the one before.
Gonna party on to Santa grants my wish.
He's knocking on my front door.
My halo on, I know I'm on. It's who I live. It's an extraordinary Merry Christmas. It's a very, 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 Merry Christmas. It's an extraordinary Merry Christmas.
Clap. Believe me, I don't even know what I'm going to say, so I appreciate the enthusiasm. But I do want to welcome you all to the Society of Extraordinary Women's Extraordinary Leaders Award. Tonight is a very special night. We are so honored and privileged to have you all join us here. My name is Thomas Coates. I have the pleasure of introducing two folks to you tonight who will be your co-host. I refer to them as Superman and Superwoman. Reading the bios, you'll understand why. Our first co-host I will introduce is Dr. Paulette Brown Hines. So many of you know Dr. Hines. She's a publisher of The Black Voice and a founder of Voice Media. Yes. Her accolades are numerous, her jobs are many, and her talent spread from here to across the world. An influential leader in her own right, we are so pleased to have her co-host us today. She works especially very close with our program in our Saturday program, our STEM program for girls, in her Mapping Black California and her efforts to further education among girls, and particularly in the science, arts, and math. So that's Dr. Paulette Brown Hines, one of your co-hosts for tonight. This gentleman, you may have all noticed him if you looked up in the sky. Stan Morrison. Stan is with us this evening, and he will serve as your co-host. Stan stands on the ready for anyone whose team may be suffering massive losses. He is a championship coach, and he has helped many teams reach the NCAA tournament. We are pleased to have him to lead us this evening in our efforts to reward and acknowledge our champions here, our extraordinary leaders. Let's give a warm round of applause for our two co-hosts, Stan and Dr. Paulette Brown-Hines.
Thank you, Thomas. I don't know how we're going to do this, Stan.
We're gonna, go ahead. I still have my coaching voice.
He can, yeah.
Look at this, standing room only.
Yeah.
This is larger than any audience I ever coached in front of. We used to introduce the crowd instead of my team. It was fascinating. Okay.
Well, tonight we're celebrating extraordinary leadership. The recipients of our Extraordinary Leaders Awards are being recognized because they are transformational leaders in their respective fields of expertise. Our awardees exemplify characters, skills, and traits that great leaders must possess. They are visionaries that share their unique talents with their community, thus enhancing all of our lives. As mentors, they have helped change and shape the next generation of leaders, and their willingness to collaborate has helped bring about meaningful change in the quality of life for their communities. The Society of Extraordinary Women is pleased to recognize such civic-minded individuals who are committed to change by empowering and inspiring others to be their very best.
Thank you. I can do this without bothering the microphone, and I know you can hear because I can project. I want to thank our sponsors on behalf of the Society of Extraordinary Women. Without them, this evening does not happen. Altura Credit Union, Mapping Black California, Southern California Gas, Pacific Premier Bank, Riverside Police Foundation, Women's Club of Riverside, Inland Empire Women's Business Center, Urban Philanthropy, Mr. and Mrs. Levi and Lena Coleman, Mr. and Mrs. Jeffrey and Manea Perry, Mr. Alan Coblin, and Mrs. Beverly Nelson. Let's hear it for our sponsors, please. Thank you. Okay.
So we'd like you to direct your attention to the screen for a brief video. She came up to inform me that we have a little switch in the program, so I didn't have to figure out how to handle the switch. We have two individuals who are being honored tonight who have to leave. So Stan is going to introduce them, give them their awards, and then we'll have the video. Hopefully we'll have the technical difficulties worked out.
Okay. They told me that more than half of you know how to read, and so I don't want to insult your intelligence by reading everything that's there. Let me just do this off the top because they do have to hustle, and I know why, for all the right reasons. And so it gives me great pleasure to introduce someone who is the Director of Intercollegiate Athletics at UC Riverside and has a very busy evening, a very important evening. In the Community Leadership Award category, this young woman, Dr. Tamika Jones-Smith, has just done an extraordinary job in her role here in Riverside, and in fact in this country. She serves on the NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament Committee, which is the single most prestigious committee there is in all of the NCAA. She serves as our Director of Athletics. She came to us from the University of Texas, San Antonio, where she was doing a wonderful job out in the community in 900 ways. There's no way that I have time enough to explain to you what a Director of Athletics does at the Division I level, but let me tell you, she's busier than a one-armed paper hanger. Trust me, she truly is. She, in my view, made the single most significant advancement for Division I that has occurred at UC Riverside when she got all scholarships available for their teams to be international or out of state. You have no idea. It's a game changer, unlike anything that's ever happened in their Division I history, and she got it done. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Dr. Tamika Jones-Smith. And next up is someone who is not a stranger to any of you. When you have a woman of her acclaim, of her extraordinary acclaim on your team, guess what? You just won. I have had the honor of knowing this woman for a long, long time. Let me tell you, if you ever have an auction and she's there, you have a great auction going. She is so incredibly competitive. She is one of the most formidable defense attorneys in the United States of America and lives in Riverside, California. She is acclaimed throughout our state and throughout our community, and certainly in the industry of not law enforcement, but of legal representation. Okay? And she is ours, and she's here, and she is truly extraordinary. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Virginia Blumenthal. All right, and now, with apologies from everybody involved in audiovisual, our video, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Shirley Coates.
See, now it's my turn. Well, I hope you had a chance to actually look at that video, because that video is talking about what we do with why we exist, the Society of Extraordinary Women, and the Ignite Leadership Academy for girls. And one of the things that we do is that first of all, our mission is to empower women and girls to discover their extraordinary selves through leadership and mentoring for a lifetime. And we do that through our program of STEM, which we are involved with in Mapping Black California, where we are teaching middle school girls and high school girls GIS technology. How many of you are familiar with GIS technology? A raise of hands. Most of the people from Esri, and the people in the fire department, and the fire chief, and people in the city. But the thing is that what we're trying to do is make sure that everyone understands the significance of this technology. It's the technology of the future. And that's what we're teaching our students and our girls in our class. Not just to actually know about it, but how does it work? How do you apply it? Is it going to help me in my education? Is it going to help me get a job? But I want to be a doctor. Why do I need GIS technology? I want to be an architect. Why do I want to use GIS technology? Well, GIS technology touches every industry. And so our students are far ahead of the game, because now what they need to learn is jobs that's going to help them for the future. Because if they're learning today what we're doing today, by the time they graduate, no job, right? So that's going to help, because that helps our economy. And that helps when they're doing well, then their esteem goes up. And then their families are doing well. And then the community is doing well. So it's far-reaching. And besides the technical part, you can't just be all technical. The other part is that we teach leadership development. And that's esteem building and team building and training and presentation skills. All of that is part of our program, including financial literacy. Because once you learn all of this technology and you go out and you get a high-paying job, how are you going to handle your money? So we want them to understand all of that. And the girls that are in our class, sometimes I've heard they've been told, you're not good at math. You're not good at science. Maybe you should just work for just only, I don't want to say bad, but maybe just be a delivery person. Something like that. But some people, some of the girls I come to have been told, they said I'm not good at that. And I asked them why. Who told you that? Who said you weren't good at math? Who said you weren't good in science? Who said you cannot do calculus? Because it's just a mindset. It's just a state of the mind, or a growth mindset. So we teach all of our students the growth mindset. You can do and you can be anything that you want to. You have to work at it. And we're there to support them in that, in everything that they do, to make sure that they are successful, to make sure that they graduate from high schools. We started our program back, now we're going into our 5th year, and I'm so happy to say that many of our students are now in high school. And I want to bring up some of our students, our current students. Where are you? Where are my, oh, there they are. Come on up here. I want to introduce, these are my current students in our Leadership and STEM Academy. And aren't they beautiful? And they're just, not only are they beautiful, they are highly intelligent. So, and they are future leaders of the world. Now we have a class mantra. So at this time, I want our students to join in that class mantra. And I'm going to give the microphone, and you're going to pass it down so everybody can hear you. So when we start, who has it first?
We are the young ladies of the Ignite Leadership and STEM Academy, and we are the future leaders of our world.
We hold ourselves in high esteem, and we are connected to our community and strive to make it a better place to live.
We value teamwork, and we note that working together, everyone achieves more.
We know the value of money, pledge to be financially responsible, build wealth, share, and give back.
We know the importance of education, and we are committed to completing our college education.
Yes!
Go, just say it.
I am Aaliyah Gallegos. I am 16 years old, and I plan to become an obstetrician.
I am Lauren Taylor. I am 11 years old, and I plan to become a pediatrician.
I am Daniela Torres. I'm 15, and I plan on being a photographer.
I'm Armani Smith. I'm 12 years old, and I plan to become a doctor.
Okay.
I am Mona Lisa Olo. I'm 13 years old, and I plan to become a professional basketball player.
I'm Jayla Williams. I'm 11 years old, and I plan to become a pediatrician.
My name is Monaje McCorley. I'm 15 years old, and I plan to become a professional chef.
I am Kaylee Bashorner. I'm 13 years old, and I plan to become a marine biologist.
I am Sophia Rivera. I'm 14 years old, and I plan to become a pediatrician.
I am Juliana Alvarez. I am 13 years old, and I plan to become a lawyer.
future leaders of our world. Yes.
Thank you. These are just some of the students in our current class. And of course, we're going into our 5th year. So I would like to bring up 2 of our students that started our program when they were just 12 and 13 years of age. So at this time, I'd like to call up Aaliyah Staten and Caroline Thomas. These are, I almost have to, can I put you on the spot and let you say something quick for yourself? She said, you see, this is all about, they were not prepared for this. I just decided we'd do this now. Go ahead.
Hi everybody, my name is Aaliyah Staten. I am 17 years old. I go to Etiwanda High School, and I used to be a part of the Ignite Leadership Program. It taught me a lot of stuff about growing and speaking in front of people, because like 3 years ago I would have been like, because so seeing them come up here just like kind of like brought me like emotions, because I used to be up here doing this. So yeah, awesome.
Hello everyone, my name is Caroline Thomas, and I have been a student for the past 4 years. So I just want to say I started off as a deathly shy young student, and this program has taught me that I can use my voice and my mind to grow and improve myself. And this isn't just the case for me. Aaliyah knows in those classrooms we're eager to go listen to those empowering men and women speak about their skills, their struggles, and even sometimes have deep, raw conversations that we wouldn't want to have elsewhere. And so I just want to say thank you to everyone who has supported this program, because it means that we and the past students can tell ourselves that we are capable and we are extraordinary.
And we're presenting them with their Extraordinary Student Award. And also they have 2 awards from the mayor's office, acknowledging their leadership and their academics in their high schools. I'm going to turn the program back over to Paulette.
Thank you, Shirley. And I promise Saturday I will be there at 9 o'clock for the Ignite Leadership Academy program. So it's my pleasure to introduce a guest presenter today who's visiting us, Erin Guel. Erin has earned an award-winning reputation for her steadfast commitment to the future of education. Her impact as a change agent attracted Hollywood's attention, and in 2007, Paramount Pictures released Freedom Writers, starring Oscar winner Hilary Swank as Erin. The film is based on the Freedom Writer's Diary, the New York Times bestseller that chronicled Erin's extraordinary journey with her 150 high school students who dubbed themselves Freedom Writers in homage to civil rights activists, the Freedom Writers. By fostering an educational philosophy that values and promotes diversity, she transformed her students' lives. She encouraged them to rethink rigid beliefs about themselves and others, reconsider their own daily decisions, and ultimately rechart their future. With Erin's support, they chose to forego teenage pregnancy, drugs, and violence in order to become aspiring college students, published writers, and citizens for change. Can we have the video, please?
In Long Beach, it all comes down to what you look like. It's all about color. If you're Latino or Asian or Black, you could get blasted anytime you walk out your door. name is Aaron Guel. Schools are divided into separate tribes. I'm not sitting near him.
I can't go back there alone.
Man, I know you ain't talking to me.
We kill each other over race, pride, and respect. We fight for our America.
So what you're saying is, if the Latinos weren't here, or the Cambodians, or the blacks, or the whites, or whoever they are, if they weren't here, everything would be better for you.
Lady, stop acting like you're trying to understand our situation.
Why don't you explain it to me?
We in the war.
You're a first-time teacher. You can't make someone want an education. Listen to me, all of you. Stand on the line if you've lost a friend to gang violence. Stay on the line if you've lost more than one friend. 3, 4 or more. From this moment on, the person you were, that person's turn is over. Everyone has their own story. We're gonna write in these journals.
There's no place like this out there for us. I can't go back to the way it used to be.
Need you. Nah, man, I can't.
Nobody listens to a teenager, and they don't see the wars we fight every day.
Sit there till the police came. Then I heard gunshots.
She told us we had something to say to people.
And ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to present the Education and Civic Engagement Award to Ms. Erin Guel.
I have the honor of actually speaking at 4 different schools today in the Riverside County. And in a 6th grade auditorium at one of the schools, middle school, this very precocious young boy raised his hand, literally looked me up and down and said, you look a lot older than that woman in the movie. And out of the mouth of babes. Since we are talking about STEM and mathematics, and Shirley waxed poetically about young girls thinking about calculus, I want to throw some numbers out there because I'm an English teacher. I'm the other side of the brain. But I taught in a city that had 25 homicides in a single year. So when my beautiful students at the age of 14 walked into my classroom in 9th grade, they didn't think they were going to make it a week, a quarter, a semester, or a year. They believed the statistics that they would drop out, get pregnant, be behind bars, or 6 feet under before they were 18. And that's where our journey began, was giving them voice and allowing them to stand up, to speak up, to use that pen rather than that fist or that gun, and to write a very different ending. 24 years later, that boy was right when he raised his hand. 24 years later, my students this summer just celebrated their 20th anniversary of graduating from high school, every single one of them. And I have been with them through this entire journey. I was their teacher their freshman year, their sophomore year, their junior and senior year. Every single one of those students went on to graduate, and we didn't stop there. We went to community college, we went to the university. Many of my students are now working on masters and PhDs, and they are going to change the world. One class, one city, one community, one country at a time. And it is amazing, especially in a room full of extraordinary women and men. I often say that I'm just an ordinary teacher who had extraordinary students who found their voice and were able to give a voice to the voiceless. And that's an extraordinary feat because my students now stand on the shoulder of giants, all of those folks, those civil rights activists who paved the way for them. And I've watched them grow and change and be activists. And these are trying times. So we need activists. We need folks who fight a good fight, who get in the trenches and do exactly what each and every award winner is going to be doing tonight. Whether they're young students who have found their purpose and their passion, whether they are community leaders, every single person in this room tonight is bigger than themselves, fighting for a cause and a mission that's going to make us leaders and civic activists. And so I'm honored to be an ordinary person in a room full of extraordinary leaders. So thank you.
And the changing of the season brings a change in me. I see with different eyes. I get us.
Thank you, Aaron. Extremely inspiring. And I hope that one thing that people leave with tonight is really that we all ordinary people who we can do extraordinary things. So I want you to think about what extraordinary thing you can do when you leave here. So I have been asked to present the next round of awards. And what we'd like to do is I'll call all the names so everyone can come up in this category. Then we'll make the presentation. Stan's going to help me make the presentation. So first we have our Emerging Leaders Award. We have Donna Fleming, so as I call your name, come on up front. Gigi Banks, Lionel Sims, and Christian Sims. So I'll start with Gigi. She is co-owner of Creative Solutions Marketing and Printing, where they help customers brand their business through printing, promotional items, website development, and other marketing tools. She's been in the industry for over 26 years, and she always provides her customers with the most competitive pricing, extraordinary levels of quality, and an unbeatable level of service. Gigi is very active in local business community. She's an active member of the Riverside Chamber of Commerce. She has contributed to that organization for over 11 years. She also works with other organizations like the National Charity League, and she volunteers with the Fox Riverside Theater Foundation. And I don't think it's listed here, but she's also a part of the Extraordinary Women. And I know she volunteers part of her time for this organization as well. So this is Gigi Banks. Miss Donna Fleming. Rangers. Donna looks nothing like her picture. This. I think they pulled the wrong picture. Donna holds the office of Executive Secretary of the Society of Extraordinary Women, so she's another volunteer for this important organization. She is a woman of God, and she's inspired by His nature and His people. Prior organizations that she's worked with is the Agape Family Connection, a nonprofit organization devoted to the sanctity of marriage. And she participates in the implementation of women's seminars, both as a facilitator and behind the scenes. Ms. Donna Fleming. So our other honorees had a medical emergency, so they're not with us, Lionel Sims and Christian Sims. Now for the awards for women empowerment. We have Joan Wakeland and Kara Adams. I know Kara's here. I saw Kara. Come on up. I'll start with Kara. So it has in her bio, and you can read the longer bios. She's a marketing professional. She's worked for 15 years in marketing, but she's most well known for the work she's done as an author. And that's why so many talented women seek her out. It's a powerful story that she has told in reclaiming herself as a hidden treasure, which is the title of her book, and rediscovered how to live a life full of joy, meaning, and purpose. She teaches women how to step into their most powerful selves through magnificent self-love. She says that you can be the amazing woman that you were always meant to be. That's Miss Kara Adams. So. Our other honoree for women empowerment is Miss Joan Wakeland Taylor. She is the director of the local affiliate for the National Association of Female Executives. And for the past 5 years, she's dedicated herself to the chapter and the success of its members. She was an ACE Award and was presented that award in New York recently. And she was awarded in recognition for exceptional dedication to the National Association for Female Executives. She has received numerous awards for her work, including those congressional awards, awards from California senators and assembly members, as well as Riverside County supervisors. She's also received many accolades for her work in the local community and is a supporter of the Society of Extraordinary Women, the Ignite Leadership Academy, and the Susan G. Komen Foundation Circle of Promise here in the Inland Empire. Ms. Joan Wakeland. I'm going to take your photo. All right, now it's back to you, Stan.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, our speaker this evening speaks often of transformational leadership, and that's exactly what the Society of Remarkable Women, or Extraordinary Women, is about. I would offer up to you something that's really meaningful to me. We have mothers and fathers here, we have grandparents here, we have brothers and sisters. We have a lot of folks sitting here who grew up in single-parent homes. We have a few folks here who grew up without their parents. Perhaps it was grandparents who raised them. And I would submit to you, one of my all-time favorite people, someone I've admired from afar and I'm trying now to work to bring to Riverside, California, said the following, quote, "So you know, I can't blame the system. It starts in the home. If the father is not in the home, the boy will find a father in the streets. I saw it in my generation and every generation before me and everyone since." Denzel Washington. Someone far less famous said, "Parenting is the single most neglected, uneducated, misunderstood, contributing factor in the economic and moral corruption of American culture." And Denzel said, "At the end of the day, it's not about what you have or even what you've accomplished. It's about who you've lifted up, who you've made better. It's about what you've given back. Denzel Washington. I would submit to you that this organization, and we saw it when we heard from these young women, is accomplishing its goals, is setting a standard, and is turning loose on our community, leaders, young people who can lead others. To be a peer leader is one of the great cornerstones of a successful culture, society, city, state, and nation. To have peers who can role model by their behaviors in addition to leading with their voice. Our speaker works with school districts, he's a dynamic leadership coach, and he is a pastor. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Barry E. Knight.
Well, good evening. All right, thank you for the two people in the room. Let's try that again. Good evening. It is an honor to once again be here. I was here earlier in the year and sharing at the Society of Extraordinary Women. And I'm quite moved to have been asked by Ms. Shirley Coates once again to come and to address this great crowd of people. And if we can, first of all, give Ms. Shirley Coates a wonderful round of applause. As the speaker for the evening, you know, I'm pretty low-key about how I'm treated when I come into a room. I'm not a diva speaker. I don't need a red carpet, but at least next time, could you have my name badge available for me so they don't have to write one in? No, I'm teasing, but it is written in. It really is written in. They said, well, you're the speaker, but we don't have you down on the list. I said, oh, there's a problem. We need to figure that out. I'm teasing, all is well. I want to talk about something that was on my heart when I look around the room, and I don't think I have a motivational message for you more than I do more something that positions us. We're in a time to where we must reposition. Everyone has a different side. We have a different take on what's happening in life, but the actuality of what's going on is that something needs to change now. And when I look around this room, ladies and gentlemen, what I see is different generations, multiple ethnicities and races. I see male, I see female, different persuasions of however we try to slice up life. And what matters most is not what happened then. I know there's a lot of parents raising millennials and grandparents raising or dealing with millennials, and they think differently than we do. I've crossed a decade where now I'm looking back. I'm at the beginning of the decade where I'm looking back now at what was and what used to be and wondering where is the hope for tomorrow. And I have a short talk. And when I say short, I mean short, so short I'm going to time myself. I'm going to give myself 10 minutes. And I'll try to give you back 2. Is that all right? I want to talk about this subject of the synchronicity of then, now, and next. The synchronicity of then, now, and next. Now, the theme for tonight is changing communities, but it also says changing the world. Now, your world might just be your family. Your world might be your church congregation, might be your school, might be your city. Whatever your world is constituted, that's what we want to focus on bringing change to now. But there is somewhat of a generational dichotomy that goes on, as I've mentioned before, where we have these people called millennials. And in this room, we also have baby boomers. We have what is called the generational X. And each generation speaks a certain language. And we must understand that it is the ability to communicate generationally, rather, that will dictate what happens next. Because when you mention the word change, when we hear the word change, in all actuality, let's be honest, nobody likes to change. As a matter of fact, when we hear the word change, we think of pain, hurt, discomfort. But I would that you would erase all of those definitions and thoughts of what change is about, because many of us stay the same. And the old statement says people will change when the pain of staying the same outweighs the pain of change. When, Grandma used to say, when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired. After a while, we have to get sick and tired of watching CEN turning to Fox News, getting mad at them, turning over to MSNBC, and then going to C-SPAN, flicking and fussing at the TV, which, by the way, no one can hear you. I just thought I'd let you know. Then we get on the phone and we complain to the same people who believe the same thing, but we never come together and talk. Then, now, next. So what we're looking for, ladies and gentlemen, is this word that has been going around, and the word is called disruption. Everyone say it. Say it again. Disruption. You see, disruption, the first law of motion, Sir Isaac Newton would say that the first law of motion is that anything that is at rest will stay at rest. It won't move. And anything that is in motion will stay in motion unless it is disrupted by an outside force. We are the forces that are in here. Everyone in here. Again, I see multiple colors, multiple generation. And it's not about what we're going to do tomorrow. It's what we're going to do now. Because you can't get to next just by focusing on what you did then. Well, the way we did it, well, I remember when. And then here's the other generation saying, but mom, but dad, but grandparent, that's not what we do now. And the same token on the flip side, we can't only solely focus on what's happening now without remembering what happened then. So then and now must come together if we're ever going to get to next. I'm going to just give 8 points. I added one. It was 7. 6 minutes. Here's how we're going to move from then to now to next. The synchronicity of then, now, and next. Number 1, first of all, we complain, we fuss. There are things we don't like. But if I were to ask anyone in here, what is it you really, really want? What is the change you want to see? It would take us, I bet, about an hour to figure out what it is we want, because we've spent days, years, and so long figuring out what we don't want. We have not come together to adequately define what it is we do want. So there are different racial issues going on in America. What's the one thing? There's a book by Gary Keller. He's the founder of Keller Williams Realty. He wrote a book called The One Thing, and he says you have to find that one thing that makes everything else more easy or unnecessary. What is the one thing we want to accomplish? Have we spoken about that? Well, I don't like them. They don't like me. We get it. But what's next? I don't like the way this is going. I don't like the way that's going. I get it. But what do we do to bring about next? So we have to define what change looks like. Very specific. You've heard of SMART goals, I'm sure. I add EST to make them smartest goals. We know simple, measurable, attainable, or they're achievable rather, and they're relevant, they're time bound. And the E is for that they're engaging. We want to get involved. The S is for they're satisfying. The T is for their team. There's a team around the change. So we have to define what we want to accomplish. The second thing, review the numbers. There's going to be a synchronicity of then, now, and next. We have to review the numbers. Let's go back. Sometimes we can get so mad at things not changing that we forget how far things have changed and how much things have changed and how far we really have come. Folks, I don't have to sit as a black man in the back of a bus. I can drink from any water fountain. Yes, there are still issues with different race tension and women and different, there's plenty, but we have to review the numbers to figure out how far have we come. Number 3, again, I said it earlier, we're going to focus on what we want, not on what we don't want. Number 4, adapt principle to a more effective practice. A lot of the time, generations, we don't argue so much over principle as much as we do over how we're going to do it. But there had to be a Commodore 64 in order for there to be a PS4. Everybody over 40, please let me know you know what I'm talking about. Don't leave me up here by myself. Please don't leave me up here by myself. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone under 40 has no idea what the Commodore 64. We had one joystick and a red button. Atari, Commodore 64, you all know. I can't even play PS4 with my 13-year-old son because I have no idea how to work all those buttons simultaneously. We have to adapt the principle. What is the principles behind the change we want? It will be a different practice because we come from different generation. We didn't have the technological advancements that we do now, so things will move much faster, hopefully, much faster than they did in the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, and 70s, and 80s when many of us were growing up. But it's the same principle. We're adapting principles to the new practice. Number 5, and I love this one. We have to learn to marry wisdom with risk. The more generations grow and excel and we move on in age, the more riskier we become, the more desirable we become to take the risk to jump out. But however, if there was no risk, then you would not have the fact and the stat that there are more multimillionaires under the age of 30 than there have ever been in the history of the United States. Why? Because someone took a risk. But young people and those that are millennials, if there's anyone in here still left, we have to understand, yes, take the risk, but behind every risk must come wisdom. We don't want you to make the mistakes that you don't have to make. So we must learn to marry wisdom and risk. Number 6, disrupt without shaming, blaming, and self-proclaiming. Be a disruptor. Be one who speaks out. But when you speak out, do it in a way to where it doesn't shame, it doesn't blame, and it doesn't self-proclaim. Get out there and do it. Make it happen. Disruption ought to be where we build all. Number 7, don't strangle ambition. Direct it. Spoke with a lady, a 70-year-old woman who's raising her great nephew. And she kept telling me about their conversations and how she always tells him what he can't do. He's so ambitious. He just always wants, he doesn't listen. He wants to do this. He wants to do that. Generational misunderstanding. I don't like to call it a generational gap. It's just a generational misunderstanding. It can't be a gap because we're all here. It's just a misunderstanding. And so we have to learn to promote ambition in our children. Ask more questions. What would you do with that. She was upset at him because he wanted to go to his friends to a park, and she was afraid because there's a lot of drug dealers. And I said, well, what questions can you ask him to determine where he is and his wisdom? Because believe it or not, he may know more than what you give him credit for knowing. And then where he lacks, you can shape his wisdom to cause him to be more protected, to be more watchful. And number 8, last but not least, since we're talking about leaders, and I do a lot of leadership coaching and consulting, I love leadership. We need to lead equitably with divine insight and anticipation for hope, for change. Lead equitably. Every move we make. Again, if you were standing from this point of view that I'm standing from this podium, you would see the beauty in this room. You would see that we all come together from different backgrounds and experiences. But yet we're all here for one purpose. And that's what we have to do. What's the purpose? What do we want to change? And so I give a charge as I take my seat, that we would not only remember this day, but we would also remember what we're looking forward to. What more is left for us to become as a human race? Because in all, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, there's only one race, and it is the human race. My name is Barry E. Knight. I'm a servant, and I was created to serve you. God bless you.
Pastor Knight, what a novel concept, civil discourse. He fully comprehends and taught us that successful communication is not about agreement. It is about understanding. And if we're civil, I can stand in your shoes and you can stand in mine, and we can, there's a room for a couple of you in here, and we can come together and we can agree to disagree. But we just had civil discourse. Thank you so much. How inspiring can that be? That was wonderful. Thank you. That's exactly what we needed. Thank you. Wow. So from civil discourse, we go to civic engagement and leadership. And I would like to invite up here to the stage, please, the Honorable Cheryl Brown, Sherry Crutcher, Dr. Harkey Dillon, Hilda Kennedy, Rose Mays, and Michelle Skilgen, please. Right in the straight row right there. Right in the row there. Awards of civic engagement. The Honorable Cheryl Brown is a former Assemblywoman, publisher, small business owner, and current California State Commissioner on Aging, who has devoted the majority of her life to figure out how Stan Morrison got to 79. Cheryl, why not? That was a long study, right? Cheryl Brown has been recognized by countless local, state, national organizations for her work on behalf of the community, in her various capacities as an elected official and community volunteer. From the years, try this, from 2012 to 16, she served in the California State Assembly representing California's 47th district. The 47th Assembly District is located in the heart of San Bernardino County, includes Colton, Fontana, Grand Terrace, Rialto, San Bernardino, and the unincorporated communities of Bloomington and Muscoy. She's done so very much in and out of the elected office, and she's always been a champion of family-owned small businesses. And she has many wonderful accomplishments, but one of the greatest of all is she is the mother of Paulette Brown Hines. Congratulations. Thank you so much for being here. It's a delight to talk about all these folks, and the next one is a very special one. Can you imagine going to college at 16? And that happened with Sherry Crutcher. She's the Assistant Vice President of Marketing, Public Relations, and Communications for Riverside Community Hospital. She joined Riverside Community Hospital in a 478-bed acute care hospital in the year 2008. She began college at the age of 16 and graduated with a bachelor's degree in organizational business management with a focus in marketing from Vanguard University in Costa Mesa. She and her husband, Gene, reside in Riverside and have 3 children, ages 9, 16, and 18. I know if she looks, that's impossible. That means they were married when they were 7. Okay. She does so very much, and she's involved in countless organizations, including the Riverside Downtown Partnership, and serves now as the president of the Unforgettables, an organization that assists families in their most horrendous moment of grief who cannot afford a dignified burial. And she's the president, and she's a great friend. Ladies and gentlemen, Sherry Crutcher. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. I'm sure I am going the wrong way. There he is. Dr. Harkey Dillon. He's an orthopedic and hand surgeon with the Riverside Medical Clinic for the last 26 years. Married? Yes. All right. Married with 2 daughters. From his early arrival in Riverside, he got together with 3 other friends and started the Asian Indian Chamber of Commerce. The AICC is still in existence and continues to do very good work in this community. He is absolutely a leader in every sense of the word. He founded the Riverside International Film Festival, which is now well known and recognized around the world, and it's in its 17th year. He retired as president after 15 years and handed over the reins, but continues to be on the board. He's also a producer of a critically acclaimed feature film, Beyond Honor, and an actor in American Blend and some short films. He's so multi-talented, there's no holding him down. And as you take time to read his bio, you'll understand why he has been selected as a recipient for this extraordinary evening. Dr. Harkey Dillon, please. Hilda, I found you. All right. Hilda Kennedy. She's a founder and president of AMPAC Tri-State Certified Development Company. Say that 10 times real fast. CDC, soon to be known as AMPAC Business Capital in Grand Terrace, California. Named the Small Business Association 504 Lender of the Year by the Small Business Association Orange County and Inland Empire District. AMPAC is a nonprofit partner of the United States Small Business Administration. In business now almost 12 years, AMPAC has funded over 250 businesses with greater than $400 million in loans to finance and refinance commercial real estate and other fixed assets with loans or loan down payments and fixed interest rates. Ladies and gentlemen, you talk about a leader in business, finance, and banking. Here it is, an absolute star in the Inland Empire. We have her in this room, and that makes her extraordinary because she's here to hear your applause. Please welcome Hilda Kennedy. How's that? Okay. All right. An absolute superstar. Every city has its cornerstones. Every city has its foundation. I'm proud. I'm immensely proud to have a chance to introduce this young woman who, for over 28 years of experience in business management, civil rights, and fair housing. Ms. Mays is a community leader in every sense of the word and serves on numerous boards and commissions at the local and regional levels. She was recently acknowledged at a HUD conference for her foresight in addressing the Rose Mays CEO. She is involved in the community as a professional and community volunteer. Her work extends from grassroots community-based organizations to public administrators to local, state, and federal elected officials. Furthermore, Rose serves as executive director of the Fair Housing Council of Riverside County, Inc., a position she's held since 1993. If you don't think she knows our city, if you don't think that everyone, when questioned in any of these areas needing expertise, they all point to this honoree this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Rose Mays. I'm delighted to hear that your family's here, Rose. Okay, wait a minute. Hang on, I'm going to find... Michelle, I'm looking for you. Oh, there you are. Okay, there you go. This young woman serves as an executive director of the Inland Empire and Coachella Valley Women's Business Centers. These centers are small business assistance programs partially funded by the United States Small Business Administration. The WBC's programs of the Inland Empire Center for Entrepreneurship at the Jack Brown College of Business and Public Administration at Cal State University, San Bernardino, have offices in Riverside, Colton, Palm Desert, and a part-time office in Corona. During her tenure, the Women's Business Center programs have raised over, get this, $5 million in federal and match funding, trained over 50,000 workshop participants, provided business counseling for over 3,500 business owners, and generated regional economic impact of $18 million. This is a heavyweight. We all talk about economy. Talk to the executive directors of the various chambers in the Inland Empire, and they're talking about bringing jobs, creating jobs, getting the economy going. Here is a mover and shaker. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know Michelle was recognized by the National Association of Women's Business Owners Inland Empire Chapter as the 2014 Corporate Entrepreneur, and in 2007 she was recognized as a Community Bridge Builder. Amen. Bridge Builder indeed. Please join me in welcoming Michelle Skiljan. How's that? Okay. Michelle, I sent a copy of that to your mom. She had no idea who I was writing about. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, these are our civic engagement and leadership champions. Please welcome the most extraordinary group right here. Thank you. I would now like to, in the category of science and technology, I would like to invite up to the stage Kathleen Stevens, Joseph Marsh, April Saunders, and Tanya Moore, please. You know, you are a thorn among two roses. You do know that. That's okay. That's quite. Oh, 3 roses. All right. Thank you. Hang in there now. Just hold up that line. Ladies and gentlemen, In the area of science and technology, we're here to recognize someone who grew up in the Pacific Northwest and attended the University of Washington in Seattle. She graduated from UW with a degree in geography and worked at Google Maps after graduation. Katie is an adventurous spirit and loves to travel the world and try new things. She's also an instructor for the Ignite Leadership Academy. That's here. She is passionate about sharing the world of science and technology with young girls. She spent 3 months in Southeast Asia. The photo of her in the program is from the ancient temples of Angkor Wat in Cambodia. She also loves scuba diving, backpacking, going on road trips, and hand hanging out. Hand hanging out. That's right. It's a typo. That's all right. I didn't screw it up. I just read it. Okay. She loves her family, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, Kathleen Stevens. Again, in science and technology, this young man is a solutions engineer on the patterns and practices team of ESRI in Redlands, California. ESRI in Redlands, California has revolutionized geography, has revolutionized the world for all of us and made it a lot easier to get around. He has a strong passion for GIS and education. He graduated from Western Washington University in 2013 with a bachelor's in geography, natural resource management, with minors in Spanish and GIS, of course. Joseph also taught STEM classes, including Scratch programming language to 1st through 6th grade and JavaScript API for Minecraft to 1st through 8th grade. He currently volunteers as a geo mentor for the Ignite Leadership in STEM Academy right here, providing lessons in GIS technology, including community and coding. He enjoys traveling with his partner, Katie, cooking and eating delicious meals, backpacking, and scuba diving. Wow. You are no longer a thorn, you're a star. Ladies and gentlemen, Joseph Marsh, please. And Joseph, you and I are two dudes with flowers, huh? How about that? Yeah, that's cool. I like that. All right. Now. Again, in science technology, a higher education will open the door of opportunity to you so that you can provide a better life for your family. These are words that she heard repeatedly as a child of an uneducated single mother. She was born in a small town in Alabaster, Alabama, in 1965 to parents Edward and Cordelia Coleman. Due to circumstances out of their span of control, pursuing a higher education was never an option for them. In fact, both of them dropped out of grade school to work and care for their families. She spent her high school years in South Central Los Angeles at the height of the drug trafficking and gang wars. I know about that. I was born in Linwood. It's called South Central today. After school, she regularly volunteered to help her mother with her custodial jobs, cleaning industrial buildings and a local private school, which gave her the drive and work ethic she has today. Many nights, her mother and she would come home to what felt like a war zone with helicopters flying above, shining spotlights through their windows, police sirens blaring throughout the night, and gunshots being fired as well during the night. It was those moments that strengthened her resolve to continue to excel in school so she could provide a better life for her family. While in high school, She joined the Math, Engineering, and Science Association, an academic preparation program which piqued her interest in engineering and kept her focused on graduating from high school with honors and pursuing a degree in engineering. She earned her Bachelor of Science degree in electrical engineering from Cal State University, Long Beach, a 49er, and she joined the National Society of Black Engineers and the Minority Engineering Program, where she completed and earned an internship with then Hughes Aircraft Company and now Raytheon Space and Airborne Systems. Holy Toledo. Now, you talk about going to the moon in your lifetime. Holy Toledo. She eventually earned a master's degree in electrical engineering with an emphasis in some kind of RF communications. Ladies and gentlemen, it goes on and on like this. Please join me. This is a great living example of what we've been talking about here. Please welcome April Sanders. What a star you are. Thank you.
I have to sneak in something here because I know something about April that didn't get enough, but April was the top mechanical engineer in the United States last year. The top. So I wanted to know that.
Of course she was, and she will be driving in the Formula One in Monaco to be followed by skydiving without a parachute. She understands the aerodynamics of it's just unbelievable. How inspiring can you be? Okay, and finally, in the area of science and technology, this young woman is a biologist and environmental scientist whose mission in life is to create a world where the environment does not need protection. That's a novel concept. Her desire and love of the environment has been evident in her many awards and professional field recognition. A few of the distinguished awards throughout her career, such as the Caltrans Above and Beyond the Call of Duty, the Governor's Designated Award for Excellence, that's the governor now, for excellence, and being recognized for her engaged and enlightened leadership throughout the Inland Empire. She's a UCR graduate, and this Highlander has utilized her biological as well as her positive servant leadership skills to build a solidly successful career for over 2 decades within the Inland Empire. Her passion for science, the environment, and the empowerment of people within this community can be seen in the accomplishments she has made throughout her career. She is known as an expert in desert environmental regulations and endangered desert species such as desert tortoise and Mojave ground squirrel. She has been recognized as an engaged and enlightened environmental leader, fostering thoughtful leadership toward a just and sustainable future. This amazing woman is here with us tonight because she is remarkable like all of you. Please welcome Tanya Moore. And with that, I don't know if we have flowers everybody got their flowers, so we're going to take a photo. And if Michael, ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring your attention now to the screen, if you will.
Science is intrinsic to who we are.
Discovering fire, the wheel, vaccines, space travel. All of that started with science. And yet today, scientists are being attacked.
People in the highest levels of government don't even believe in climate change.
Federal scientists are being censored.
It's scary to get hate mail, to get threats.
If we don't restore trust in science, we're in real trouble.
I will look someone dead in the eye and say, I hope you are right that this is a hoax. Because if I'm right, my kids lose.
We have to fight for science.
This seems like a dark time, but I believe this will be our finest hour.
We can't give up. It's the future of the human race at stake.
We now are going to honor, and I think Shirley will be coming up to say a few words. I think a truly extraordinary woman. I had the honor of hearing her make a presentation to this organization about a year ago. Has it been that fast? My goodness. One of the finest geologists in the United States of America. Please welcome Dr. Dawn Wright.
I don't know what to say because this has been such a remarkable evening, an evening full of beautiful disruption. I am just so honored to be in your presence. This is just a fabulous organization and a wonderful community here in Riverside and here in the Inland Empire. I wouldn't be where I am without my beautiful colleagues at Esri and the many friends who are in the audience here. Shirley and Paulette, Cheryl, all of you. I said this last year that at this event I felt as though I had been to church, and I'm feeling it again. So thank you so very much.
I have to say something again. But I just wanted to say that some of you don't know, though, that Dr. Dawn Wright is the top oceanographer in the world. Unfortunately, we couldn't show all of that video, but she's part of a movie called Let Science Speak. And you can find it on YouTube, Let Science Speak. And I can tell you that this is why I get so excited now. You see, I can hardly talk because, I mean, do you realize who's in this room? That's what, it's we said the Extraordinary People, Extraordinary Leaders Award, but you are all so extraordinary. It's amazing, and I'm just so thankful that all of you chose to be here this evening, come through the rain and all of that. But I'm not going to take away from Dr. Wright's award. I just got excited, had to say that. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for all that you do. Okay.
I've spent 45 years in the world of intercollegiate athletics, around the healthiest, strongest, best in what they did. I'm involved with organizations with children that cannot get out of a chair. And it makes me appreciate from the bottom of my heart those great experiences I had with others and the opportunity to say something, to do something significant to assist that youngster who cannot get out of a chair. In this room tonight, we saw people that not only got out of their chairs, but they jumped, and they jumped high. Some have flown. As human beings, they have something in them that they got from this organization that allowed them to get out of that chair, to jump, and to fly. When you have the opportunity to assist someone in that journey, in that process, when your head hits the pillow at night, there is a satisfaction that nothing can compare with, to assist a young person in growing, becoming competitive, self-reliant, strong, communicative, and who wants to give back. Wants to give back. I heard these young women tonight, and they were so articulate and purposeful and strong and filled with leadership that they got from this incredible, extraordinary organization with its leaders and teachers and all the assets and people who come to assist in the process. Helping people grow is the single most important thing that man can do. And I'm asking you now to assist this organization in doing exactly that. And you may not have it to give. I don't care. I want you to give anyway, and you'll find a way to fill that void later. That's what this is about right now. To assist financially in a way that really is meaningful so we can bring more extraordinary young women into this room and allow them to realize and to live and to extricate that extraordinary quality that they all have, instead of being pushed under, that you can't do this, that you're not qualified to do this, that you can't make that you're shooting too high. Because none of that is true unless we make it untrue by virtue of the support, the leadership, the education, and the inspiration that we provide, to have them in the back watching these young people who came up here tonight. Boy, I get tears when I see 13-year-old, beautiful young kids, 13 years old, speaking so confidently. There is nothing that brings terror to someone's heart more than speaking in front of a large group of people. You do it enough, and you don't have that terror. Shirley doesn't have it. Pastor doesn't have it. I don't have it. But I'm telling you, for kids to do it, that is growth, and that is something that you simply cannot measure. But you'll realize it, you'll feel it, and you will see it in the productivity that they bring to the Inland Empire by virtue of the experiences that this organization has provided. I'm asking you to help fund those experiences, that education, that uplifting, that morally correct thing to do to help us create greater citizens, greater leaders, and people who will come out and will demonstrate in a civil manner, will stand up for the right things in a civil manner, will, in an educated and well-learned process, become the kind of leaders that our country is dying for right now. We all know about the civil unrest. We all know about the polarization. And these are the young kinds of people who can bring us together. We need them. And I'm asking you to assist us in that process right now. I'm asking you as sincerely as I can ask anyone, okay? I can't believe Shirley Coates, how hard she works to put this together. I mean, Shirley, we got to get a new place. Or we got to figure a way to get bleachers in here, because we had 100 people on their feet. And that's a great show of their belief in you and belief in this entire program and its mission and vision. So if you would do that, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay.
But Stan is just so generous. That's what I said, another extraordinary leader, because, he could just be doing whatever, from athletics and all of that. He's a celebrity, but not only, he doesn't just think about himself, always looking to do something for somebody else, always looking to help other nonprofits and mentor. And so we just really appreciate you so much, Stan. Thank you. And Paulette, I don't know what to say about. Sometimes, I don't know if I should say this, but my son always tells me, Mom, you always just come out with the strangest things. And she's looking at me like, what is Shirley going to say? But it's in a good way. She's just super. She is just so super about everything she does as a publisher. She's so sincere about what she writes, the type of organizations, the types of publications and the types of articles that she writes. Is so compassionate about everything, and also involved. You're talking about a civic leader. Oh my gosh, I can't, and she's going from meeting to meeting to meeting to meeting, but not just going to meetings, but making a difference. She's made a difference in so many individuals' lives that has just changed their lives. She's made a difference in our lives. She's made a difference in our organization. So I just really thank you so much. And what she's doing now with Mapping Black California, it's extraordinary. Because it's not just California. Now we're getting ready to map, the whole United States. And who knows, like you say, the world. Because this is really, I can only say extraordinary. So thank you. Thank you. And now, you know, I do a lot of talking, but I enjoy sharing, and sometimes I get very excited, but I can't do all of this alone. So at this time, I want to acknowledge my board. Where are they? They're somewhere. I would like them all to come up. There's Nancy. They're just waving. See, so humble. Who is that over there? There's Trina. I can't believe, you see, they won't even come up. I'm trying to get them to come up. It's LaWanda Roy, it's Kimberly Bradshaw, it's Dr. Alan Cummings. See, they're back there working. I'm trying to, now if I miss anyone, I better look so I can make sure I don't miss any of them. But all of my board members, I really appreciate you so much for what you do. My son, Thomas, I said my daughter, Trina, am I missing? There she is, Jody DeLeon, our secretary over there. So thank you so much. And also, we have board members here tonight that started when we first started our program, and that's Gwendolyn Abbott. Oh, there she is. See, she's just waiting. But they've all contributed greatly to enhance our programs, supporting girls, mentoring girls, so I really appreciate that. I know that right now, all of you, after Stan made that compelling talk, that you all have an envelope in your hand, and I don't want to stop you, so if you want to go ahead and write your check, it's fine. I won't feel bad that you're looking down. But we also have a raffle, and
I'm the relief pitcher. We're going to give Shirley a little break. She's been working tirelessly to put this program on, and we should give her a hand because, let me tell you, not only has she been working 72 hours straight, no water, no food, but tomorrow is her birthday. So guess what we're going to do? Guess what you're going to do? We're going to sing happy birthday. So now, do we have a singer? Where's my niece Kennedy? Let's call Kennedy to the front. All right. Kennedy, come on up. You're going to lead the singing for Oma. My nieces call my mom Oma. That's part of their heritage. But Oma's birthday's tomorrow, and you're going to lead us in a happy birthday song. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Well, there'll be some cake and balloons in the morning for you, Mom. And my sister's in charge of that. All right. So, now the moment you all been waiting for.
If we want to take a break to buy raffle tickets, we have with us tonight the Riverside City College chamber singer Dickens Carolers. So if we can enjoy a tune or two for those who want to buy a ticket or two, and then we'll come back and draw the winners. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen and Dickens Carolers, please come forward. Please enjoy the Riverside City College chamber singers, Dickens Carolers.
I'll be home for Christmas. I'll be You can plan on me. Please have snow and mistletoe and presents on the tree. Christmas Eve will find I'll be home.
I'll be home.
You know Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen. But do you recall the most famous reindeer of all? Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games.
Oh, then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight?
Then how the reindeer loved him as they shouted out with glee. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history. Thumpity-thump-thump, thumpity-thump-thump, Frosty the snowman was a jolly happy soul, with a corncob pipe and a button nose and two eyes made out of coal. Frosty the snowman is a fairy tale, they say. He was made of snow, but the children know how he came to life one day. There must have been some magic in that old toucan they found, for when they placed it on his head,
he began to dance around.
oh, Frosty the snowman was alive as he could be, and the children say he could laugh and play just the same as you and me. And he waved goodbye saying, don't you cry, I'll be back again someday. Look at Frosty go, thumpity-thump-thump, thumpity-thump-thump, over the hills of snow. Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voices, oh, light divine, oh, night when Christ was born, oh, light divine, oh, night, oh, night divine.
Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
Merry
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
Merry
We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. Good tidings of Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. Good tidings of Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Now bring us some figgy pudding.
Now bring us some figgy pudding.
Now bring us some figgy pudding
and bring it out here.
We won't go until we get some.
We won't go until we get some.
We won't go until we get some. So bring it out here.
For we all love figgy pudding. We all love figgy pudding.
We all love
figgy pudding.
So bring some out here.
Merry Christmas.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.
Let's give another hand to our wonderful Dickens singers. We are so thankful for you and your talents. We appreciate all of the songs and the selections tonight. Now, the moment that many of us have waited for, the moment that many of us have contemplated, should I buy a ticket? Maybe I'll buy a ticket. I want to buy a ticket. Darn, I didn't buy a ticket. I told you guys the Magic Castle. How many of you have ever been to the Magic Castle? You know you have to be a member to go to the Magic Castle. Or you have to be invited by a member, right? So the Society of Extraordinary Women happens to be very well connected. So this is a special gift from one of the special members of the Magic Castle. So without further ado, I'm going to have one of the STEM Academy mentors come and join me. She also happens to be my daughter, Mrs. Maya Ray. She's going to pull the winning ticket. Maya, they're clapping for you, Maya. They're clapping for you. Okay. So here we go. Drum roll. This is. Wait, because this is we gotta hold him here. We gotta hold him. What does this say here, Maya?
This special invitation entitles up to 4 guests to enjoy the world's famous Magic Castle.
All right, so here we go. If you have the number, you will be traveling down to Hollywood. Now, how many of you been to Hollywood? We're in Riverside. Now we're in Riverside now. Okay, so you got to get down to Hollywood. So it's kind of like Dorothy leaving Kansas. You're not in Kansas anymore. All right, so the number is, please read the number, the beautiful Maya.
6133293.
Once again.
We got a winner.
Oh, wait a minute. You cannot win with a wave. You've got to jump up and clown around and get up here. Yeah, there you go. Let's bring her up, ladies and gentlemen. Our winner. Please come up and introduce yourself to our audience. They are all so envious of you, but they're also happy for you. Your name, please.
I wish I was a part of the STEM program because I'm afraid of public speaking. Oh, okay. Hi, I'm Lynette Andrea. I was invited here by Karen, my pastor's wife, and she told me Shirley was so awesome, and I neglected the fact that I just happened to find a flyer on Tuesday. I started researching and Googling. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. I didn't know. I wish I had more time to call my company to sponsor and write a big check, but next year, we're here, I promise you. Today I also brought a raffle with my company, and it has like wine and candy and just fun stuff. So you can tell, how do you say that? Echo, you tell them to do something, technology. I don't have it yet, but thank you guys.
Thank you. Here's your gift.
Okay.
That's it. Thank you all. Did we have closing words?
Well,
You're back.
is that a? Oh, okay. So this is what we're gonna do. Who's the first person to wrote a check tonight? That means, so I just, no, I'm kidding. See, now, see that, I just wanted to create some excitement. See, I told you. But good, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. So now it's a raffle ticket. Who wants to pull the raffle ticket? Let Aaron came all the way down to be with us tonight. We'd like you to. Oh, let me see. Let me give you enough. There you go. Okay.
613301.
Oh! Thank you. And we're right on time, so thank you all for coming. Thank you, Barry E. Knight, for that eloquent talk this evening. I really appreciate it. We're going to make all of it up to you. So thank you so much. Thank you, Aaron, for coming down. And all of our speakers and Dr. Wright from Esri, and just all of our special guests and extraordinary leaders. I can't say enough, but these are some of the things we do to reach out to the community, to let them know what we're doing as an organization, and also sharing information with the community. So this is a culmination of our quarterly conversation series, which we have been having over the last year quarterly, and we've been bringing in top technologists, scientists, community leaders, and educators to share ideas and innovations that not only change the community but change the world. And that's what we're all about, and we're starting that with our young people. So again, I thank you. We thank you for your support, and I want all of you to have a wonderful evening.